it's not, it never seems like a great idea. When I talk to people that do this, they know it's not a great idea. They know they could get caught. It's the thrill of it. It's the rush of it. Whatever it happens to be, I hear different reasons why people do this. And I don't judge that. And everyone's got different things they do in their life, so I don't judge that at all. But when you talk to them and they say, I can't believe I did this and I've lost so much because of this, the regret is exceptional. I mean, it is exceptional. And so I go back to, there are a lot of ways to defend these cases. Typically, we win these cases. Typically, I can keep them out of a court martial. The ones that go to court martial, I can win. But that's not what this is about. This is not about beating the charges. This is about how to not ruin your career. So just being serious here, if you did get caught up in this, you need to know how to handle this. You need to know, okay, what is my clearance level? Do I need to self-report on to my SSO? How do I report to my SSO? What information do I provide? If I don't report anything, that you can lose your clearance because you have an affirmative obligation to report, but do I self-incriminate? So there is a lot of nuances in how to draft up the 5 Ws and what you should report and not report to keep your clearance. That's an issue. How do I explain this to my command? The prosecutions on the Army or the military side is going to look at this, and how do we mitigate this? How do we show that what was the root cause of why this occurred? Was this a one-time offense? Are there legitimate issues of entrapment? Because when you throw out things like the throat goat from law enforcement, I mean, it is really pushing the boundaries of what I think is legal and ethically dubious, right? So I say all the time, just don't do it, but it doesn't mean you won't. It's like, putting you in a Porsche 911 Turbo S and saying, well, don't break the speed limit. Well, all right, got it. But not everyone's going to do that. You may very well, put your foot down and, see what happens when you have that much horsepower, right? And so if you did get caught up in this, you have to very quickly take action, because if you don't take action right away, these courses of events are going to be put into motion that you can't stop. And before you know it, you may lose your security clearance. You may have a GOMAR. You may lose your entire career over it, where if you take decisive action immediately, then there are ways to mitigate that where you can save your career. I've had cases where we've been retained while, immediately upon getting out of jail. I've had service members, we've had family members retain us while their loved ones are still incarcerated and they're getting bonded out. And so that is the absolute best time to get on board for us, because now I can ensure you don't make admissions to the 06 that's going to want to talk to you, that you don't do something foolish when you submit information to the SSO, that if there's a self-reporting requirement, and every service is a little bit different, that we do this properly, that we engage with the prosecutor's office, and we mitigate this very early on. Because if you can take those actions early on, you can take a bad situation and make it to where it's manageable, and you very well may save your career. Where if you do nothing and use that bad judgment, or maybe just don't know any better and you feel very remorseful and you want to spill your guts to the whole world and incriminate yourself more, or maybe you want to deflect on it, if you take the wrong steps immediately after this, then your likelihood of losing your career is substantially higher. So whether it's talking to someone like myself, talking to the trial defense service or the defense service office, you need to talk to an attorney immediately after you get caught up in an operation like this to understand what's going to happen next and how to mitigate that and how to set yourself up so you don't get destroyed. If you're a military service member and you've been caught up in one of these list crawler prostitution sting operations, don't just take the first guilty plea or whatever they throw at you. These cases can absolutely be won, and you can have your circumstances mitigated so your career isn't destroyed. I'm happy to talk you through it. You can get on my calendar at www.bileckilawgroup.com or call me at 813-669-3500.